In this video, I am going to show how I will be removing the current exhaust on my VTX 1300. I have a Cobra slash cut. I'm going to be replacing it with a set of Vance & Hines big shot pipes. It's extremely basic. Primarily, there are acorn style nuts that hold the flange in place. You remove those from both the pipes, right there. And then what you want to do is there is some sort of bracket that holds these pipes to the frame. And in our case, this bracket right here is held on by a bolt underneath, and I will take the camera to the other side to show you. Right there, all we're going to do is remove that nut and the pipes will come off. The thing to remember is that this rectifier gets bolted on right here, and you want to go ahead and remove that before you remove the bracket, and this way both pipes will come off together. Once that comes off, if you're interested in separating these pipes, some pipes can be separated, some can't. This particular set can be. In order to do that, you're going to go ahead and remove, trying to get a shot of, you're going to remove bolts that are in here. So you're going to remove two bolts from the back side that hold the back side of the pipe to the bracket, and we'll do that to the other side as well to separate the two pipes altogether. Once that's off, then I will show you the procedure to install the new set of pipes. A couple of notes. In order to remove this 17mm nut that's holding the bracket in place, we had to undo the bracket that was holding the pipe, the lower bolt, so that we could gain access to the back side of this bolt. That is one thing. The other thing that I forgot to mention earlier on is that you will have to loosen the footrest. So you will have to remove that bolt right there and the bolt that holds the lower portion of the bracket in place. Once you undo this, you will then allow this assembly to move this way so that you are able to pull the pipe out from this area. So I just wanted to point that out as well. So I'm still in the process of getting the pipes removed. Once I've done that, then I will show you what the next steps would be. Okay, so you can see here we have everything loosened up so that we can then slide the new pipe in. But before I do so, I'm going to go ahead and clean this whole area up. I'm going to clean all of this up. Here's the port. You can see that there is exhaust leaking from here. So it's extremely important to make sure that this bottom acorn gets tightened up properly. So it is a little difficult to get access to. The other thing is we're going to go ahead and remove the crush washer that was already there, and I'm going to install a new crush washer. That's also very critical to making sure that you have no leaks, because leaks will result in pressure loss, which will also result in a lot of popping. So anyhow, that's the front cylinder. Here's the back. You can see that we had a pretty good seal along here, except we had a little bit of leaks up here. Again, the crush washer needs to be removed, and then we need to install new crush washers that look like this. So make sure you order them. They are extremely important and necessary for changing out your kit. And so this is for the VTX 1300, Okay, so I just wanted to show you how to remove the crush gasket. I basically ended up sticking the screwdriver in to this point right here, trying to get as much vertical angle as possible so that I was able to squeeze the screwdriver head, the flat head, in between, and then I worked it in different locations and have been able to pry this one out. That's the rear one. As for the front one, I was able to get a much more vertical angle by holding the screwdriver at this location and then popping it out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the crush washers, and then I will clean up the surfaces so that I could seat the new crush washer. Okay, so we went ahead and installed the new crush washers into the hole. You just place them in the hole, and then basically you let them sit. There's no other lubricant that gets applied or any other seal. One thing I do want to point out is if you do buy a used exhaust for the bike, you want to make sure you get the correct mounting bracket back here for the pipes, because each pipe has its own mounting bracket, and it's very necessary that you install the correct mounting bracket to each of the pipes. Okay, so now in order to get the pipes in, we kind of had to tilt the pipes set in, bring them underneath, and then straighten them out, because it had to get past this face and get past this face right here on the cylinder head. Once that was in, the key thing that we struggled with a little bit, and then I ended up having to put the camera down, was we were able to get one of the flanges over the bolts that were sticking out, but we could not get the second one. So basically, we ended up having to go back and loosening the straps that hold the heat shield onto the pipe. Basically, you loosen them for the whole front. This way it allows the exhaust pipe to flex a little bit, and when we did that, it made a huge difference. But still, we were still not able to get both of the flanges to go over the threads that were sticking out of the cylinder head. So we would stick in the bottom one for both the front header and for the back, and then we would take the flat end of a socket extension, and I would tap on the upper end. Once I've aligned it up with the upper thread bolt, I would tap it to force it to kind of start sliding over the bolt that's sticking out. So ended up having to do the same thing here, and took very minimal force just to initiate the push, and then we stuck the acorn nuts on there and started threading them in. Once I've done that, you want to make sure they're just barely on, and you've got enough threads engaged so that this thing does not come off. Once you've done that, you come in down here, and then you install the bolts that will hold on to the bracket in the back. And once that's done, we are now going to, still leaving these loose, we're now going to go ahead and torque these down to 12 pound-feet. Once I've got that done, then I'm going to come back and tighten these nuts, these bolts I mean, to 25 pound-feet. You do want to make sure you put Loctite on here so that these don't back off and fall out as you ride. That's basically it. So I'm going to go ahead and torque the front acorn nuts, make sure that they are seated properly, then get this thing bolted on properly and tightened, torqued to what it needs to be, and then I will go back and then tighten these pipe clamps that hold on the heat shield, and then we should be ready to start the bike. That's basically it for now.